I'm at my friend Fraser's place in a place called Moonshine Valley up Bulls Run Road, up towards the Akatawera Ranges, which is just over that way, in a forest block slash bush block. And this house where he lives the last 3 years has been a place of immense ceremonial and sacred community, coming together for music nights, jam nights, for sharing circles. Last night we had a men's group here last night in the space, sharing, dropping in, sharing deep, being very vulnerable in our essence. And in that vulnerability last night, when we had our men's group here, I was given and granted the opportunity to have some insight from my brothers who shared with me their own experiences and their own emotionalities and their own machinations in regards to what's going on in their lives. And in those insights that they shared with me, I was reminded of some aspects of my own personal journey that I need to reaffirm. And I thought I'd make a video about this now. And that the video I'm making now is about the need for me, and once again, I've never and I will not tell anyone how to live their life, but for me, the need to be curious and spontaneous in my life experience, and to remain in a place of deep curiosity and also spontaneity in order to move forward in my life in a way that allows me to choose the path that lights me up, a path of heart, a path that is directed from my heart vortex out into the world and aligns me with my purpose. And in my true purpose, I feel is presence. Unlike most people who look to plan their lives, that I know plan their lives years ahead, or months ahead, or weeks ahead, days ahead, at this time in my life, I feel like I'm in a holding pattern. This is May 2024. I feel like I'm in a holding pattern, circling around as the old life that I created for myself begins to dematerialize, begins to break down, begins to fall away from me and die. And in that holding pattern, it can feel incredibly disjointed. I feel almost in some ways disconnected. I feel discombobulated and not fearful, no doubts, but definitely lacking direction and purpose in that sense that all I can do is be present in that one moment, the moment right now, and hold that space and remain curious to what is unfolding around me. Nothing forced is one great axiom that my friend Fraser sent to me a long time ago, which is a picture which I'll put up on the screen now and show you here. Nothing forced, allow space. And that is what I am doing in this moment, is remaining curious, remaining spontaneous in regards to where I choose to move from. I have the ability to choose. In this time of my life, I have no children that I'm aware of. I have no partner. I'm single. I'm living in my van, Golden Horse, traveling around my country of my birth into this avatar, which is called New Zealand. To me, it's called Te Moana Nui a Kiwa. And I've been traveling around the islands, the North Island, the South Island, since December 2023 in my van, and moving between contracts as an interior-exterior decorator and visiting friends in my community in the Wellington region, in the North Island, in the South Island, since December last year, 2023. And I'm about to embark, leaving the Kapiti Coast, which is about an hour north of Wellington on the west coast. From the Kapiti Coast, and this weekend coming up, my intention is to go back up to the northern part of the North Island, Auckland region, northwest Auckland, and then to the further up to the far north for a holiday / dropping in space. I'm actually supposed to be going to Australia on June the 2nd, 2024, but in my heart, I feel like I'm not meant to go at that time. It feels like August is a time for me to go there. There's a number of things in alignment with that energy as well. My friend Jo, who lives in the Northern Rivers, Mullumbimby region, is moving out of her property in August, and that aligns for us both to be able to do a road trip to Uluru and through the Northern Territory for potentially a few weeks in August as well, which would work out really well for me and work out really well for her, so we could share a journey together and have our journey together. Jo's a very old friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, a powerful healer, an incredible artist, and just a dear friend I've known for over 20 years. So I'm remaining curious, I'm remaining spontaneous in my life, and this is the necessity I feel in my path, my journey moving forward, is to remain curious. Because for the last few weeks, I've forgotten that. I've forgotten the essence of what that was driving me forward on my journey. My purpose was to remain curious. For 4 weeks working on a contract, I forgot all about that. I became immersed in my day-to-day, and I began to feel the drag and the dreg of the discombobulation that I felt, and the lack of spontaneity and the lack of curiosity in my life, because everything began to feel formulaic for me. And that formulaic measure that I found myself in, it was good for me because it grounded me in the moment in a way that didn't bring me into that level of curiosity or spontaneity, but it gave me the grounding base that I needed in order to be able to function in this discombobulation energy, which I felt for almost 4 months. So being grounded in that day-to-day work that I was doing as an interior-exterior decorator, and having a clear-cut path that I needed to follow, a formula I was following in regards to creating and furbishing a property in Waifetu in Lower Hutt near Wellington. It gave me the ability to remain in that place of deep groundedness, and now I've left that space. I'm back into this feeling of, okay, and reminded about it last night during the men's group, of being curious and being spontaneous. Very important for me in my journey to remain curious, to remain spontaneous, to remain curious as to why, for example, I'm not traveling to Australia on June the 2nd, and why I'm pushing it back till August. Even though I know it makes sense for me to do that, there's another level of me within my being, within my psyche, within my etheric, within my entirety of body, mind and spirit, that wonders, why would I not want to go in June when it's warmer over there, and it's pretty cold over here right now. It's probably, where I am, between 9 and 10 degrees Celsius. But I thrive in the heat, so there's a part of me that goes, why wouldn't I want to go there? And there's no fear for me in this situation, no doubt. It's just a feeling in my being that, no, the time isn't right for you to go. So I accept that, but I'm curious about it. Why is that the case? So today, for me, for example, right now, after I make this video and edit it, I'm going to be sitting in Fraser's space, because he's at work right now. I'm going to be sitting in his space and walking around the property, going for walks in the forest around me, and just dropping into that space of curiosity and opening up and allowing that space and enforcing nothing. I've done a lot of housework on the property this morning just to give Fraser, just to give him a little bit of a hand and a thank you for allowing me to be here. And then that's also part of my spontaneous interaction with the environment around me as well, is to do little things like that, gifts of myself for my friends and my community. But also by doing that, by being curious, by being spontaneous, by getting lots of firewood, chopping up kindling, doing the dishes, doing a bit of cleaning up in the house here, it's also put me back into that state of deep sense of dropping in, and that in those exercises in this work that I was doing over the last 2 hours, cleaning and chopping firewood, that's also given me insights into what I'm experiencing right now, as much as the men's group last night, because in that presence, when I was doing, I was given and shown insights in regards to what I needed to do next, which was to drop in rather than take off up the Kapiti Coast and begin the next level of my journey and my nature of my desire to be more curious about what comes next. I felt the need when I was doing those tasks to stop and to drop and to come into the space around me where I'm basically out of a situation where I'm almost like in a Faraday cage, because out here where Fraser lives, there's no mains power. It's all on generators and batteries and solar power at the moment. So there's a real lack of EMF and EMR. There's no Wi-Fi here, no internet at all. So it's really like how things used to be 30, 40 years ago, I guess, in that sense, even long before that. So I have this energy as well where I'm not having this overflowing, for me as a sensitive, as an empath, sense of where I'm in a situation where if I'm in a city or in a suburban area, often I can feel overwhelmed by the EMF and the electromagnetic and electro smog around me, and that can make me feel, in regards to my energetic field, it can make me feel, how do I put this nicely, overwhelmed. And in that, I can feel overwhelmed in the sense that I begin to feel the need to get into nature, to drop into that space of nature and feel more connected and slow down. Because for me, electrosensitivity, being electrosensitive as well, it can cause me to have physical conditions, ailments that send me into a place of deeper, not stress, but duress in regards to my body's machinations, my body's internal processes, but also my mind. So here I am, getting more curious, becoming more spontaneous, but also in that deeper understanding of that nature of that experience, following my intuition to slow down, and to allow the space for what is going to unfold on the backside of this discombobulation to take its form in my life. And I feel as though for me, in my life experience, it's essential when I come to that place of stillness and curiosity and spontaneity. It comes from that curiosity, but finding that balance between the curiosity and the stillness, and also understanding that the two come hand in hand in some level, in some way for me. Because in that stillness, I'm able to reach out into different scenarios, different places, different energies, and feel into those places deeply. And then when my curiosity peaks on a certain timeline or an event or a place or a location or an idea, then I will follow that curiosity in a way that will allow me to get the most out of the situation I find myself moving forward in regards to where I'm going to, what I'm doing. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Mā te ua. I'll see you again soon.